We are live. Queuing up the theme song.
It's time to get real. It's a new experience. Spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one now. Spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Spirituality. Oh, now we getting real. Getting real. Spirituality. It's time to get down. Spirituality. Together you gonna feel good now. Get real good.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. I'm your host, global happiness specialist, inner peace practitioner, oracle, Reiki practitioner, fitness instructor, mother, but most importantly, a student, ongoing student, and the class is never ending. And when I say happiness specialist, let me just be very clear. What I was thinking about this today. I have devoted my entire life to this topic, my entire life to, is it possible to maintain and sustain happiness regardless of what happens? And my definition of happiness is the ability to vibrate an energy of peace and contentment regardless of what happens. The ability to vibrate a personal energy of contentment regardless of what happens. And the challenge with this topic is happiness, contentment, inner peace. I don't know. I don't see anybody giving awards out for it. And is the masses, I would say, don't even value and personal energy of contentment. Now, of course, there's a lot of value on success, having a lot of money in your bank account, relationships, health, all of those things. But if there's no peace, if there's no contentment, which reminds me, what is that movie that years and years ago with Diana Ross and Billy D. Williams? What was it? Mahogany. And she was climbing the ladder of success, and Billy D. Williams said, I'm really going off on the tangent now. He said, success is nothing without having someone to share it with. Well, I contend that this earthly view of success, there is an emptiness in everybody that has achieved and everybody that has their goals met. If you feel like there's something missing, if you feel like this is it, that's the topic that I study. And let me just ask a few questions here. These are my intro questions. Oh, like and subscribe. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Questions. How happy are you? Can other people hurt your feelings? Can other people offend you? Can other people disappoint you? Do you blame other people for how you feel? Do you blame your circumstances for how you feel? So there's nothing wrong with accomplishments, titles, wealth, accolades, fame, trophies, awards, social media likes, massing millions of followers. However, it's time to tell the truth. None of these mentioned have anything to do with happiness, have anything to do with how content you're going to feel. And what is happiness? Again, it is an energy. Concentrate or focus on, let go of the word. It's the energy that I am talking about, which is an energy Listen, in any moment, I am either vibrating dissatisfaction or satisfaction in any moment. So it's the energy I'm talking about. And what is my foundational energy? What energy am I rooted in? And that's a practice. Happiness is a practice skill. Inner peace is a practice skill. I'm going to say I'm a little rusty. I didn't do the show last weekend, but happiness is a practice skill. Contentment is a practice skill. Inner peace is a practice skill. And what do you practice? You practice putting a spotlight on and eliminating one by one program behaviors. And in fact, in my latest book, it's called Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth. And in this book, I list 56 program behaviors that subtract from happiness. When I say program behaviors, it's whatever beliefs that you did not have when you were born. It is eliminating the program, eliminating those beliefs that are just not true. And also in the book, I list 26 behaviors that can add to your happiness. It's a really good read. I highly recommend it on Amazon. But back to today's topic. Before I go on, I want to share what I like to point out every show, which is there's a very famous study. It's called The 5 Most Common Regrets of the Dying. And it was done by a hospice nurse, Bronnie Ware. You can Google it. The 5 Most Common Regrets of the Dying. And in that study, she asked her patients who had a short period of time to live, whether it was a day, months, weeks to live. And she asked them, what are your 5 biggest regrets? From 1 to 5, number 1, I wish I had pursued my dreams and aspirations and not the life others expected of me. I wish I didn't work so hard. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings and speak my mind. And number 4, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. But the fifth regret that kept coming up over and over and over again is, I wish I would have let myself be happier, or I wish I would have been happier. And that's all I'm saying here in this limited amount of time that we all have. Is it possible to be rooted in peace and contentment and that energy of happiness, regardless of what happens? Can you imagine being at peace with everything that crosses your path? Well, it is a practice. And the other practice I wanted to share is, today's show is about holding grudges. So I'm going to ask you a question, my dear audience. Do you think that you can experience the highest level, one of the highest levels of peace and contentment when you're holding a grudge? Or when you take anything personally? And when I say anything personally, I really do mean anything. This is an impersonal world. In nature, everything is impersonal, is not personal. And so the practice is to let go of the program that says, this is personal. It's happening to me. And I don't care if somebody's pointing their finger at your face, calling you by your name, it's still not personal. But it is a practice to maintain that what is unfolding, what life unfolds, what I experience, what you experience, there is an order to it. There is a reason for it. There is a purpose. And the purpose is to speaking for myself, the purpose is to get to a point of transcending the mind, transcending the ego, transcending the stories, transcending the beliefs that are not only limited, but the beliefs that are untrue. But getting back to holding a grudge, I'm going to admit that when I was younger, I was the queen, a, a Guinness Book of Records holding grudges. I could hold a grudge for not only days, not only weeks, months, but for years. Years. And that holding a grudge, number one, it is a program. You didn't pop out of the womb just knowing how to hold on to something and keep holding on to it, especially something from the past that isn't serving you, and holding on and holding on and holding on, and thinking that holding a grudge, holding on to something, and especially if there is a reflection, or scratch the reflection, especially if there is a person and there is a reason to hold on to a grudge, especially there's a combination of not only being programmed to hold on, and thinking that me drinking poison is going to affect someone else. Because holding on to grudges and holding on to hurt feelings, or holding on to whatever that you think is, well, I'll never forget that. I'll never forgive that. I'll never. Is never going to affect the other person. The grudge holder is drinking the poison, expecting that someone else is going to be affected. And it sounds, I don't know how it sounds, that it's easy to do, and it's not easy. It's not easy to let go. It's not easy to face pride and say, you know what, I'm not going to be feeding my pride. I'm not going to be feeding that entity. I'm not going to be feeding that part that says, I'll never forget. I'll never forgive. Living in the present moment is where life happens. Holding on to yesterday, holding on to it. Listen, I'm not talking about just, let's see, how do I explain this? Because there's just so much. I get so many emails and rebuttals. Well, what if you were, and you're talking about something that's on the surface. No, I'm talking about letting go of anything that isn't serving you. Serving you to in your highest of capacities, serving or feeding your soul, your spirit, letting go of anything that doesn't serve. And it's not easy to do, but this is let me just uh, uh, let you know what I do. I use the term universe. You can use the term God, source, creator, higher power, spirit, awareness, whatever term. The entity that is beyond the mind, that is beyond the limitations, that is pure presence. That we all are pure presence. That entity getting to the point of living as pure presence, being the example of the universe, a walking, talking example, means letting go. Scratch that. Means eliminating holding on to anything that isn't going to be of service. So how do I do that? outside, bare feet on the ground, whether it's grass, wherever, hands in the air, and just ask, how do I let go of this grudge? How do I let go of yesterday? How do I begin trusting and living in the moment? And that's it. And let it go. How do I accept? How do I accept yesterday? And more importantly, how do I live in the present moment today? Backing up, look, there was a, let's see, hold on a second. There was a quote. Let me look for this quote because it's a real good one. Let me just look for it really fast. No, that's not, no. Hold on a second. Let me look for this. I found it. Thank you, universe. A wise man builds a house out of the stones his enemies throws at him. A wise man builds a house out of the stones his enemies throw at him. Now, I'm going to even throw this in that there's no such thing as enemies. Everything, every person, everything that I'm experiencing is a learning, a teaching moment, or a moment that is going to open, a moment that is going to cause me to be even more open and more aware. I just love this. A wise man builds a house out of the stones his enemy throws at him. I know it's not an easy practice, so let's go back to holding grudges. What happens to the individual that is programmed to hold a grudge? Know that this holding grudges becomes an addiction, it is an automatic behavior. It is an automatic reaction. It is an automatic behavior to hold on to pride and to think that if I'm holding on to this, I'll, and I'm only going to speak for myself, holding on, this will show them. But all of that is extra. All of that is a big bowl of negative soup, a big bowl of unfulfilling, soul healthy for it does absolutely no good. But what it will do is keep the ego and keep the mind activated and keep the ego and keep the mind fed. The ego needs to be fed. The ego needs to have attention. The ego needs me to speak for it and to behave the way it would want to behave. I may be going off a little bit, but let me just get back to this. Now I'm going to talk about what does it mean when someone takes things personally. And this is an AI definition. Taking things personally means to interpret somebody's words or actions as a deliberate personal attack, even when it wasn't intended that way. This often involves feeling personally offended, hurt, or defensive because you believe the other person's behavior is a direct reflection of you, your character, or your identity. It can lead to overthinking, ruminating, and an overblown emotional reaction. Key aspects of taking things personally: misinterpreting intentions. So this is when I assume that I know what someone else is thinking. And I don't know about you, but every time my ego and my mind, well, I know this is because I can figure this out. There is an analysis, and then an interpretation, and then a conclusion, and guess what? And it's all false. A misinterpretation. It also, taking anything personally means that I also have the ability to read someone's mind, and that I am. The other thing is that I'm putting responsibility of someone else over my feelings, over my feelings, over my mood. If they hadn't have said that, I would have been in a great mood. No, this is beyond, and it even comes back to personal, personal criticism. It is a big mess when the practice of the programming of taking anything personally, and especially this thing about the R word. People are rude or people are disrespectful. That is an interpretation. Rude, disrespect to some is going to be different to others. That's when you know that, scratch that. That's when I know that I'm off. If I am holding on to something that can change in a moment, just like the weather, then I know that my anchor is rooted in something that is human. My anchor is rooted in something that is not universal, and it's not a truth. This is another one. Somebody doesn't, whether it's a friend or a family member, doesn't respond to a text. So then the assumption may be either they don't care, or they're angry. But is there ever a thought of maybe they just lost their phone, or maybe they have their phone off, or maybe they just don't feel inspired to text back or to respond back? But you see how the ego goes right towards the negative, goes right to the personal attack, and that is a program. When I talk about taking anything personally, can you imagine letting go of taking something personally, and then you're not triggered, and you're not putting someone else responsible for your feelings? This is a personal, if you are seriously valuing, or if you want, or scratch that, if you desire this energy of contentment, it is about making a different decision. It is about speaking with intention. It is about responding to life as opposed to reacting to life. So this taking anything personally is just another program. Hey, good morning, Jay, from the Great White North. Aw. So I was talking about, Jay, I was talking about taking something personally. And then I also was talking about holding grudges. I know it's been a long time. So I have a question, Jay. Are you a grudge holder? Yes or no? I was the queen of holding grudges. Long time no chat. Holding grudges, yes or no? Or if you don't want to share, you don't have to. So the thing with holding grudges, again, it is a program. And the other thing about holding anything or keeping anything personally, know that that's another program. And there is an addiction to taking things personally. No, not at this time in my life. I love that. And there is an addiction to taking things personally. So I also want to share a happiness checklist. And these questions, you answer either yes or no. Yes or no. You ready? Put your seatbelt on. Yes or no. And this is just when I say happiness checklist, this is just an overview and just to put a spotlight on awareness, self-awareness. Number one, do you trust that everything that is happening, and when I say everything, I mean everything, everything is happening for your betterment, also your spiritual growth, your personal growth. Everything that has happened to you and will happen, do you trust that everything is there to serve you in some way? Yes or no? Do you trust and do you know that the universe, fill in universe, God, source, whatever term you want to use, has and always will have your best interest in every moment of your life? Yes. Here we go. Do you know that worrying, do you believe, do you know, scratch the belief, do you know that when you worry, that just means there is a lack of trust? Do you believe and know that everything happens in order? And this thing about being in order, that includes timing. One of the things that I had to practice is letting go of what Rebecca or Rebecca's ego or Rebecca's mind. There is a time frame that the ego, this needs to happen in this specific amount of time, and so then I'm vibrating the sense of waiting. I'm waiting for something to manifest, or I'm waiting something for something to happen so that the dust will settle or my soul will settle. And I'm here to tell you that the universe, this is a universal time. This is nothing to do with what Rebecca's time is. And it even goes to the point, and if you listen to the show for a while, you know that the handyman, the legal, it's 7 years. My mother will be dead in 2 more days. Let's see, on the 29th, October 29th, 7 years. But apparently the universe, God, source, doesn't want this to be over yet. Whatever is happening is supposed to be happening, and it's not my timing. When I say my, I'm talking about Rebecca. It's not this human's time. It's not the timing that Rebecca thinks. So you see that it's a very, very uh, mm, delicate dance of vibrating satisfaction, and it's nothing to do with the timing. And so it's really about practicing patience. Yay! From May to October, I was working a farmer's market, grateful to be back. Yay! Listen, I love every time you're on the show. Every time. We go back a long ways. And in 40 days, listen to this one. In 40 days, I'll be 70. 70. Lord have mercy, but don't tell anybody. Okay, back to the happiness checklist. Okay, do you believe everything happens in perfect order? Okay, here we go. This is another program behavior. Are you taking whatever it is? I don't care, whatever challenge, whatever circumstance, are you taking it seriously? This is serious. The state of the world is serious. What's happening in my life is serious. It's not, and I'll tell you every single time, 100%. If I'm off a little bit, if I'm off, I can always go back to the ego and say, yep, Rebecca believes this is serious. And that goes from medical, health, everything. It's serious. And I'm here to say that there is nothing, nothing is serious, important, not serious. Can you imagine letting go of that serious vibration? It's going to find a lot of peace after that. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. When faced with the challenge, do you practice changing your perspective? One of the things that I know when I say I, and I'm also using this air quote, when Rebecca has had an ego takeover, Rebecca's ego can only manage to come up with one perspective. Rebecca's ego, there's only one way of looking at this, just one way. Now, there's more than one way, but that's another practice. Are you able to change your perspective in this moment to feel better or to have an energy shift? And oh, a lot of love. Yes, a lot of love. One of these days we're going to meet face to face. I don't know when it is, but it's going to happen. You know, there's a few people that have been listening to the show since it started. And what is it, 14 years, 13 years? It's been a while. And I just know, I can feel it when I'm going to meet people. I don't know when, but it'll happen when you're able. What island are you on? Are you on the Big Island? Are you on Oahu? Are you on Kauai? Is my favorite island. What island are you on? If you want to share. Okay. So the practice is to practice. And if I can't come up with another perspective, if I can't come up with another perspective, know that there is another perspective. Okay. Do you take things personally? We already talked about personally. Okay, here's a good one. This is what I used to engage in a lot, especially in my personal life. Do you offer an opinion, suggestion, comments, or advice without being asked? Do you offer opinion, suggestion, comments, or advice without being asked? And I even am going to throw that in with my son. I stopped that years ago. He doesn't want to hear anything. He doesn't want to hear my opinion. He doesn't want to hear my advice unless he asks me. And sometimes he asks me questions, but unless I'm just listening. I spoke with him yesterday, and it's just listen, listen, listen. There's not a lot of people that can listen without judgments and without offering opinions. Do you blame someone else for how you're feeling? Or do you blame your circumstances for how you're feeling? Yes or no? Uh-oh, here's a good one. Are you believing your thoughts? Are you believing the stories? The one of the things that has really lightened me up, and when I say lighten me up, I'm talking about energetically, and also is just, I can't describe it other than just things slowing down. Just there's just a slow movement. I feeling like I'm in slow motion, and a deep trusting that what needs to happen, what needs to get finished, what needs to be accomplished will be accomplished. Do you okay, here we go. Do you compare yourself with other people? That's a tough one. That's a tough one that when I say we're back, yeah, comparing. Yeah, well, they have a, their YouTube channel is the equipment is a lot cleaner than it's just the smallest things. And they have a better studio with better microphone and a better camera, all of that. And more people are watching, more views. Used to do that. How about this one? Being mindful of what are you talking about with other people? Are you talking about something that happened yesterday? Are you talking about a situation that you don't have control over? Are you talking about or focused on, especially with someone else? What is the conversation about? Or are you talking about, hey, you know how I grew you know what I did? You know how I transcended last week? Okay, here's a good one. Do you criticize yourself? Yes or no? Do you criticize others? You could say criticize yourself, judge yourself. Do you criticize yourself? Do you judge yourself? Do you criticize and or judge others? Yes or no? Do you find fault with other people? Do you find fault, or do you find that, they, if they only improved, or if they only changed this? What the universe hit me with this weekend? It was so annoying on so many different levels. I was at the gym, and I go to the gym in the morning at 6 a.m. And uh this is just horrible. Put your seatbelts on. And I've got a little, it's just a little sticky note. Well, this person, I have a woman at the gym. I don't know if I have shared it, and she doesn't speak to me. Can you imagine somebody doesn't talk to me? Well, she's mad, and I'm going to say, because there was one time I was encouraging her. I said, "Good job, good job, good job, Sue, good job." And she looked at me and she says, "I don't need a cheerleader." And since then, this was maybe 4 months ago, she hasn't spoken to me since. But every morning when I cross her path, only because I say good morning to everyone, I still say good morning. I still say good morning to her, even though she doesn't speak to me. But this is my point. So I've got that person. I've got the person that's 500 pounds that just rides the treadmill for 10 minutes and leaves. I mean, the Rebecca has a lot of different putting people in different cubby holes and judgments and all that. And you know what the universe told me this week, which was very annoying? Oh, no sound. No sound? How could I not have sound? Is it still no sound? How could I not hold sound? It looks like I have sound. Hold on a second. Is it still sound? Let me do this. Hold on. Cool. They have sound. Okay, good. One of those is good. Okay, perfect. So this is what the universe tells me after I'm looking at, all these different people, all different ages. From 50, it's a 55 plus community. From 50, 60, 70, one gentleman just celebrated his 97th birthday. From a person being cheap to a person talking too much, all of these things that Rebecca is gonna sit and analyze. And the universe hit me with this while I was on the elliptical machine. They said, that all these people are you. Do you know that there's no difference between you and that person? The person that doesn't speak, or the person that's too loud, or the person that talks too much, or the person that is consumed with politics, or the person that complains, or the person that's negative, or the person that always talks about their surgeries, or the person that the universe told me that all of these people, you're not separate. All of these people, you are not separate. Great. And the analogy is we're all waves on the ocean, but we're all part of the ocean. Individual waves, individual experiences, but in reality, in the bigger sense, we're all connected and we're all the same. It really hurt. It didn't hurt. It hurt the ego, but it is the truth. Are you believing your thoughts? Do you criticize? I already talked about that. Do you criticize or judge others? Do you criticize or judge yourself? Know that all of that is a program, yes or no. Do you find fault with other people? That's only because there is lack of acceptance and finding fault with self. Here we go. Is any challenge based on the past or the future? The past or the future? I was talking to my son yesterday, and he was telling me that this is going to happen in another few weeks. And he says, "Yeah, Mom, my intention is to have a talk with them when I see them next month." And again, I don't ask. I mean, I don't volunteer any kind of advice or opinion or suggestion or any of that unless I'm asked. But my thought was, even an intention in the future, I'm still in the future. So, inspiration, how am I going to be inspired in the future? It's about living, practicing, staying in the moment. There's another yes or no question. Do you find, okay, so are you in the past or future? Are you in someone else's business? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Noticing, paying attention to others. And I'm here to say that if you do value and you do want to experience more contentment, more peace in the moment, it is the practice is to stay out of everybody's business. Everybody's business, from suggestion to judgment to criticizing to any of that. And unless someone asks a question, it's none of my business. That is so freeing. Staying out of other people's business. Do you pay attention to what other people are saying and doing? That's just another way of saying being in somebody else's business. Here's another question. This is either yes or no. Are you committed? Do you prioritize? Are you focusing on peace in every moment? I'm not talking about just some moments. I'm talking about every moment. Is peace a priority? Is contentment a priority in every single moment? That's either a yes or a no. I don't see these chats. Okay, yes or no. Here's another question. Are you committed to maintaining a peaceful relationship every time you are in the presence of someone else? Not just sometimes, every time. And this practice is just about living consciously with self-awareness in every single moment. And it's not an easy practice, and it's ongoing. There's no time off, there's no breaks, there's no vacations. Are you practicing behaviors that will add to your happiness on a daily basis? Now, let me share with you. Hold on a second. Because I've already told you that there are 56 program behaviors that subtract from your happiness that I've indicated and listed on my latest program for unhappiness, exposing the untold truth. This is on Amazon, but 56 behaviors that subtract, 56 program behaviors that subtract from happiness. But let me give you a list of behaviors that are not programmed that will add. Prioritizing contentment, valuing peace over any other desire or need. Practice living consciously by becoming self-aware, choosing peace in all moments, practicing acceptance. And I mean acceptance of every moment without resistance. This one of the things that my practice, when I say my practice, it's if I'm resisting the moment, I can feel it right away. Resistance can be felt it's the smallest pea under the mattress. Resistance can be felt so easily. So am I practicing? Okay, this is what's happening now, universe. Are you sure this is what's happening now? Oh, it is. Thanks. Surrender. I trust. Next moment. The other behaviors, not identifying with the ego, not identifying with Rebecca, not identifying with this programmed identity, identifying with consciousness, identifying with the silent witness. Stay out of everybody's business. Choosing your perspective, chewing. I must be hungry. Chewing your perspective, choosing your perspective, choosing your focus, witnessing more, identifying less. How about this one? Practice patience. Patience with the unfolding, patience with self, patience with the process, remaining open to a variety of possibilities, even the possibilities that my pea brain can't even comprehend. Getting back to the happiness checklist. Oh, here we go. Do you laugh out loud every day? And when I say laugh out loud, I'm not no, I'm talking about laughing to the point of peeing in your pants, laughing to the point of buckling over, just enjoying laughing, enjoying the moment. There's what I say is there's four things. If you ever find yourself challenged in any moment, sing, dance, laugh, and or pay attention to your breathing. Sing, dance, laugh, pay attention to your breathing, and immediately your energy can shift. Immediately. So if you don't have laughing on your list of things to do every day, I suggest you add it. No, I command that you add laughing. Are you committed? Okay. Are you practicing behaviors? Do you laugh out loud? How about this one? Celebrating your personal growth. The celebration, and this celebrating can be any day, anytime. There's no waiting for a birthday or a holiday or a New Year's Eve. None of that. It's celebrating life, and this every single day. Every single day is a holiday. Every single day is a day of celebration and celebrating growth. When is the last time you celebrated your own growth? When is the last time wow, I remember when that used to trigger me. Wow. I remember when that I used to be bothered by, wow. And now I'm not. Letting go. Celebrate all of the letting go. An ongoing celebration. How about this one? Do you smile at strangers? I smile and I wave. Do I know her? Hi. First, it's a confusion. Sometimes it's confusion. Most of the times, people wave back. How about this one? Finding peace or practicing peace. Are you able to find peace, practice peace, experience peace with uncertainty? That means not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow and not planning the future, not caring about the future. Are you able to be at peace with uncertainty? Are you accepting your reality? Are you accepting your present moments? Or are you resisting the present moment? Here's another one, having fun every day. And when I say having fun to the point of silly, fun, goofy, not making sense, just give you an example. So at the gym, there's a couple of us that do planks. And I have to say it was my idea. So now we're up to holding a plank for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. and I'm the president of the plank club, and everyone else are, and then someone said, well, I guess I'm the vice president. I said, no, you're not the vice president. You're just a member of the club. I'm the president and you're the member. That's what I'm talking about. Just making fun in every moment with nonsense. Nonsense. Are you having fun? Are you practicing being aware and conscious during every moment? Getting back to today's topic, that was the happiness checklist. But getting back to today's topic, I can't believe it's almost 10 o'clock Pacific time here. Getting back to holding a grudge. The more that a grudge is held, know that you are in captivity. You might as well be in your own jail cell. You are holding yourself in captivity. And you are experiencing a limited amount of peace and contentment. Limited. You can experience more letting things go. And again, how do you do that? Just ask the universe. Universe, how do I let go of all this unforgiveness, holding grudges? How do I let go of it? That's it. Number 2, taking things personally. We talked about that. That's another program. There's nothing personal. People are behaving and doing the best that they can. And taking anything personally is just another program that is that when eliminated, taking things personally when eliminated. Can you imagine not taking anything personally? That means you're not going to have your feelings hurt. You're not going to be offended. You're not going to be reacting to something that is uncontrollable. Well, that's all I have unless you have questions. Oh, this is something I wrote down. I'm just reading my notes. True ignorance is when you think everyone should think the way you think. Ignorance makes you suffer. Ignorance make people suffer the most. You get mad because someone is making fun of you. No, people can make fun. They can call me any kind of names. Doesn't matter. But it's a practice. Happiness is a practice skill. Inner peace is a practice skill. Well, that's all the time I have for today's show. Thank you, Jay. I'm glad you're here. J, my favorite longtime listener. Well, that's the end of today's show. Thank you for listening. Reality Spirituality is heard every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And follow me on X at RL Norrington, LinkedIn. Follow me on LinkedIn. My Instagram handle is Reality Spirituality. My YouTube channel is growing. It's really been growing thanks to my friend that's helping me with it. My website is RebeccaNorrington.com. My first book, Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness, can be purchased on Amazon. My second book, the one that's out now, Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth, it's on Amazon. Also, if you've received the book, if you're inspired, please leave a review on Amazon. Thank you. If you feel inspired. Until next week, my dear audience, I want you to remember who the hell you are. You are a physical example of the universe, your conscious energy, which is always evolving, always changing. Love is patient and love is kind. Be patient and be kind to yourself. Remember, happiness is a practice skill, and you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. It is about the journey. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality with yours truly, global happiness specialist, Rebecca L. Norrington. Happiness is a practice skill, and I promise you, the more you practice, the more peace you're going to find, and your experience in every moment reflects on what you practice. Have a conscious week. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe. Aloha, Jay. Aloha. Hey, you know what, Jay? I was going to ask you. There is a active volcano on the Big Island. And I was really thinking about. I wanted to see that. How can I see the active volcano on the Big Island if it's still active? See, I'm trying to. Whoops. Trying to cue up my theme song. One of these days, I'll have a real studio with a real producer and director. What do they call it? Engineer. But it ain't today.
You got a question for RL? You got a question for RL? Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to feel. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one.
Spirituality.
You got a question for RL? It's time to get some answers, baby.
Now we get real.